Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video series where we talk about digital marketing strategies and tactics to help grow your business. I think now more than ever, it is absolutely critical and almost fundamentally essential that every business really think about their digital footprint as we look at what's going to happen over the next probably 8 to 10 weeks as we kind of go through together what's going to happen as a result of COVID-19. Our business is located in the state of Florida. Many businesses in the state of New York and California, Massachusetts, and many others are going through what is probably one of the most challenging economic times that we've been in since 1987, and obviously 2008, 2009. But I was doing some research before I turned on the camera, and one of the things that I thought about was Airbnb, Uber, some of the companies that we have become used to in just the last few years actually started in 2008, 2009. And so I think one of the things about America, which I think is really fantastic, is that during difficult times, we are forced to let go of the status quo. We are forced to look at new ways to innovate ourselves, innovate our businesses. And so today's episode, I really want to encourage business owners, marketers, those of you who are subscribers to the video channel, subscribers to the podcast. I want to thank you for the many months that you've tuned in. I've often said in the podcast, and I think people thought, man, he's really crazy when I would talk about, things that your business should do in the event that we should experience a significant market correction. When we talk about underpriced attention, it's so important because businesses cannot continue to have advertising ad waste money. Like literally every company right now should look at their marketing and advertising dollar and look, how can I make my advertising and marketing dollar spend like a $20 bill, not like a $1 bill. And you're not going to be able to afford to, go out and buy, really high priced attention. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we as Americans are on social media and on the internet more in the last 2 weeks than ever before. I mean, there are numerous, internet service providers along with other network and data providers, Facebook itself, talking about increasing infrastructure to accommodate for more people being on its platform. And so again, I go back to what we've talked about, and if you haven't checked it out, the archives of the podcast, if you're really wanting to think about innovation or think about how can I, think differently about growing my business, I want to encourage you to go back and listen, especially in late 2019, as I talked about digital at scale, segmenting your audience, and producing contextual content, because now you can fire up your webcam just like I am, and you can record the audio from at the same time, just like I do. When I record the video, I've got the audio going at the same time, and begin documenting the process. As Americans, we are fascinated by stories of, people who overcome, great challenges and, when faced with a difficult time, how they went through it. And this is a great opportunity for many brands to, kind of step away from the polished, glitz, glam, and perfect, and show your empathy, show your humanity. So today's episode, I want to talk about 7 simple ways to publish content at scale while forming digital partnerships to foster growth. I think we're starting to see a little bit of this where companies are working together during this difficult time who might not normally work together, who might see themselves as competitors. And I think that now is one of those times where this is a time when you reach out to, especially those who are in your industry. So number one, let's talk about smart groups or 20 groups. Yes, we are physically, the government has recommended that we gather together in groups in less than 20. But guys, online, we can get together with as many as we want, right? So in the real world, having worked with automotive industry, having worked with financial industry, healthcare industry, there's always these sort of think groups, 20 groups, if you will, is often kind of what they're called, whatever your number is, mastermind group, what have you. Now more than ever is a really great time for you to get together with those people and talk about what are you doing? How are you evolving? How are you adapting? Because we're adapting. If your business, it's amazing to me to look at and read some of the stuff, from 2 weeks ago where people were in denial or, complaining or whatever. But man, the rubber is hitting the road. It's going to, the forecast is it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so trying to do it by yourself, it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be very difficult, but together, I think is the best opportunity for us to succeed. So, in my world, I'm part of the American Advertising Federation, part of the Florida Public Relations Association chapters. These are types of groups that we're a part of. This is a great opportunity for nonprofit organizations to really provide value to your members because they're all struggling, they're all panicking, they're all freaking out. What can we do? How can we continue? How can we provide better service? How can we provide better communication? So create smart groups. The technology and the platform, whether you put together, a Google Hangout or whether you do a, Facebook group or whether you do Zoom conference or whether you do join.me, and get people together and talk about ways to innovate, ways to change, ways that platform and online community groups can really help you. And help foster coming together, not being separate. That's this whole thing is, social distancing and being apart, right? And now we have this opportunity to allow the internet to connect us and not drive us apart, even though physically we are apart, right? So I think that's number one. Number two is to talk about content at scale. We were recently talking with a client. We were like, okay, look, here's what we want you to do. We want you to get in front of a camera and we want you to go for an hour and just talk about, concerns that your customers have about what's happening and how your business is adapting and helping, whether you're, providing a service or whether you're providing useful product demonstration so that people understand how to use your tools or how to use your products or how to make sure they're getting the most out of your the services that you provide. Again, this is the time that, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-minute video or if it's an 8-minute video or if it's a 20-minute video. Last night I was watching an hour and 30-minute session on YouTube of 8 businesses who got together who were all asking the question, what are we going to do? We've been very successful up until this time, but the things that made us successful, that got us here over the next 8 to 10 weeks, those are not going to work. So what are we going to do? I mean, it was a real frank conversation. It's amazing what content is on YouTube. But it's that kind of content, again, yes, I've got a little bit of lighting so that there's not a shadow on my face. I've got a little bit nicer microphone so you can hear what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to have George Lucas, video production. It's more about communicating and creating this content. Now, so once you have that, have a videographer cut that up into smaller bite-sized chunks so that you can have a 45-second, for Instagram, or you can have a, 20-second TikTok, or you can have a under 10-minute long-form LinkedIn content. This is being able to take the long form of your video and then chop it up into more segmented pieces, right? And so, again, whether you use that as public information about your company, or whether you use it as private, sort of behind the wall, if you will, for access for only your members to gain access. Again, we are going to have more time in front of our screens, whether it's your laptop or your tablet or your phone, because we're going to be sheltering in place, right? And so the more you can produce content at scale, again, I got a couple of bullet points about what I want to talk about today. I don't have some long scripted, thing that I'm reading. And as humans and as people who are concerned about what's happening, we want to hear people speak from the heart. We don't want to hear scripted, rhetoric, or we want to know the real deal, what's really happening. So that's number 2 is content at scale and start producing now. Number 3 is every marketing dollar has to spend like $10. Okay. You guys, here's the thing, 10 years ago in 2010, Google AdWords, if you tried to get the word doctor, you were spending like 6 or 7 cents per click. Now you're spending $6 or $7. So you can't afford to do that. Right now, every dollar matters, and companies are gonna need to scale back, in order to keep employees on staff, to be able to continue to provide the level of service and the level of quality of products. They're going to look for ways to cut expenses. And so advertising is going to be one of those things. But just because you're going to cut your whatever, maybe you've got a traditional media budget where you got television commercials or print newspaper or magazine ads, or all of the more traditional revenues, which have been, facing their own challenges, in the last 3 to 4 years anyway, because of social media and because of digital and the shelf life that it has. So again, where can you find underpriced attention? I mean, if you get an incredible deal in traditional media, great. But being able to have the metrics and being able to, track and really create a long tail of communication with your marketing dollars when we're talking about retargeting, when we're talking about being able to create, intelligent sales funnel type of triggers that will take people from the top of the funnel in awareness that, oh, I didn't know that brand was out there, to, consideration. Why should I choose this brand over this brand? So things like that, those are strategies that you absolutely must take advantage of now. I mean, and then number 4, understand that organic content on social is going to last all of about 27 minutes. I mean, unless you were a major media outlet like, a TV station that's got, broadcast in its feed, live video in its feed, your organic post that you put up on your Facebook page is going to last like 27 minutes because everybody's posting, right? It's just going to push it down the feed. So understand that and know that this is a pay-to-play platform, right? And that you do need to pay to be above that feed, especially when you're trying to get out information. Maybe you're changing your hours of operation, or maybe you're announcing a new service delivery that you're offering so that people can get the essentials that they need. This is a reason why you should advertise. This is a reason why you should spend marketing dollars. If you're innovating your business model to help grow your business and better help serve those who need your product or services, you should spend money to get the word out. And then number 5 is communicate value. Now is not the time to try to sell, right? This is about communicating value. Can you help your viewers, your listeners, to help accomplish the things that they need to do in their day? Can you help guide them? Can you provide content in a way that brings value to their life, right? Can you inspire them? Can you encourage them? That's what's really critical at this time. It's another reason why I was like, I'm getting on the video today. We're doing a podcast today because there are businesses out there that are really struggling, that are really taking a hard look at the future of what 2020 looks like, and will there even be a 2021? So that's number 5. Number 6, partner with others. Again, this goes back to something that I've been seeing quite a bit is, do a collaborative video with someone who is in your industry, or maybe who is a collaborative partner in the work that you do. Last year I did a whole book series with a good professional colleague and friend of mine, Katie Lilly from Lilyfield Accounting Solutions. We did a book series called Getting a Grip on Your Business. In fact, Traction, that was the name of the book. Great book about getting a grip on your business before it gets a grip on you. Boy, talk about a time right now when you need to make sure your books and cash flow are really tight and really just a rock solid plan now more than ever. And having the right team and having goals and those types of things right now are so critical. But partnering with someone, you can say, hey, listen, let's partner together. Let's do a video together. Let's put it on Facebook and let's share the cost. Guys, our campaigns, when we're launching these, our clients are spending around 3 to 4 cents per engagement. Michael, did you say 3 to 4 cents per engagement? Yeah, right. Again, if you do Facebook right, if you do Facebook and Instagram right, you can leverage attention for 3 to 4 cents per engagement. Now, what are you talking about engagement? I'm talking about likes, shares, comments, right? Getting out the word. So being able to partner with someone and saying, hey, let's go in 50-50 on this, that really makes your marketing dollar stretch, right? When you do that collaborative effort. I think here locally, we had, Rally for Tally. We had over the weekend, local businesses who got on Facebook together and talked about what were their specials. And you saw, different businesses working together, like Madison Social and one of the print shops, partnering together to get signs made for, ordering online or curbside pickup available, like all the different partnerships that were happening. This is an example of what we're talking about when you want to partner together with other businesses to get out the word that how are you innovating? How are you helping people make it through just an average day with the things that they need to do in order to, take care of the essentials. Again, and then the last thing, number 7, is document and publish and share. Document, publish, and share, right? Get on the camera, get on your phone, start producing videos, start recording your journey, the journey of how I made it through COVID-19, how our business went through this process, document it and look at it. I think another thing that's really interesting that a lot of people really undervalue is because of the internet and because of the fact that once it's produced and it's on the internet, like it's there forever. And so many people, like think about some of the great companies that have been around, for a long time, and there's very little sort of documentation of those companies. Like, think about like Sears Roebuck. Like in its day, it was, a powerhouse. Imagine if the internet was around and Sears was talking about, how they did things, or, Macy's, obviously they've been around for a long time too, but do you have these stories about the people of Macy's and the story of these organizations, like General Motors? Like, where are the videos of General Motors, of the workers and what they're doing? I do like that they just came out with an ad where it's like 0% for 84 months. Hey, that's good. Like, yeah, maybe that actually helps me with my car payment. Maybe that lowers, my income to buy a new car. And here's General Motors saying, hey, we're going to stretch this thing out for 84 months at 0% interest. Okay, yeah, that's smart. You should advertise that. That's a good deal. But documenting, not just producing commercials, I think is a way for all of us to be able to look back in 2021. We look back at the spring of 2020 and we think about, man, it's a journey of our story of how we made it through one of the most difficult and challenging times that the world has faced in decades. So today, I hope you found this video and podcast series encouraging and inspiring. Again, just to recap 7 simple ways publish content at scale while forming digital partnership to foster growth. Number 1 is start a smart group, whether you use Facebook, whether you use Google Hangouts. Number 2, content at scale. Start producing and segmenting your content based on topics, producing it on your website and blogs, and publishing it at scale on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and getting the word out. Now, just because we're social distancing doesn't mean we have to stop publishing and producing content and turning up the volume on that. Number 3 is every marketing dollar needs to spend like $10. Every marketing dollar, every single marketing dollar needs to spend like 10 marketing dollars. So how do you do that? You look for underpriced attention. What's the most underpriced attention right now? 100% Facebook, Instagram ads, Instagram story ads, YouTube pre-roll, all 4 of those platforms. You're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 cents per engagement, incredibly underpriced. So that's number 3. Number 4, know that your organic posting content on the platform is going to last about 30 minutes and then it's gone forever. This is a pay-to-play platform. You have to have your marketing dollars spend smartly. Cut back on the overpriced, whatever that media is, print, radio, TV, whatever those platforms are, where you're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 per month. Start producing at scale. You become the broadcast center. Number 4, communicate value. Now is not the time to sell. How can you help people? Deploying empathy is your best way to ensure that you are communicating value. If you communicate to the listener and to your audience, hey, I understand what it's like to be in your shoes today. I understand what you're trying to accomplish. And here's how I think you can do it easier, how you can do it better, how you can do it with less stress. And here are some tips. Number 6, partner with others. Partnerships with others to offset cost of your advertising. Form partnerships, form alliances with other like-minded businesses who are looking to grow in your community. And then number 7, document, publish, and share your content every day. I mean, in a perfect world, guys, your business, I mean, there is plenty enough pipeline for you to share 30 pieces of content every day. I mean, it's super easy. And if you can publish and you can increase your volume, that is your best shot. That is your best shot to survive in a time where things are going to get extremely tight. And businesses are going to have to be extremely smart and savvy when it comes to gaining attention and providing the best service that they can to their clients. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow.